how significantly people like worry about their weight, the scale, right? Because just as much as people like fixate on gotta go to the gym, that's how I exercise, people are even more concerned about that number on the scale.
Which we have had some deep ass conversations regarding that, because it affects us. And I think us being in the industry for so long, you know, it's kind of ingrained into us, and it has been, and it's something that we have had to check each other on pretty frequently.
I mean, it's such a regular piece of, honestly, everyday life. Right? I mean,
so how many like people get up and are like, oh, step on the scale.
Right. Go, you know, do your business.
Step on the scale.
Step on the scale. Right. I mean,
brush your teeth. Yeah.
We've done it for so long. Like, I mean, it's a part of like competitive sport, you know, for like weight classes. I mean, thinking it's a part of youth sports, right? You get put in like categories based on your weight. I mean, it's
I get it.
It's like, more strict based on like other sports. Yes, I get it. But you know, whenever it kind of gets, we can talk youth sports like it, at length elsewhere. But just saying like how big of an impact that number on the scale has, right? Because at the end of the day, like if, especially during COVID, like, you know, competitions have been postponed. They've been down. Right. Some places are still having them with their masks and stuff like that, you know, but some places have significant less restrictions. But I forgot where I was going with that.
COVID and lifting the weight.
But okay, but anyways, with like if you're not competing, why is it that important?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, and that's kind of like what we were saying. Like, why does the number on the scale matter to us so much? Like, seriously, up at night, like late ass conversations, because you know, you look yourself in the mirror, and who hasn't gained weight during COVID right now? Like, you know, who hasn't? And, excuse me, you know, like, and I'm around, the last time I checked.
Which is when?
I have no idea.
No idea. Our scale has been broken for a long time.
And we haven't fixed it.
Right.
It just ran out of batteries.
It's fine. It's a fine thing.
Yeah, I was up like 20 pounds. And, you know,
20 pounds from what?
From
where is your reference though? Like,
before COVID started.
Oh, okay.
So like a year. Within a year, gained 20 pounds. And like I can say that and be fine. Like I have no problem saying that out loud. I have no problem like even looking at my body. I don't have as bad. I probably feel the best in my body that I've ever felt, and the relationship with my body has been the best that it has ever been. And
it hasn't, but that hasn't come easy though, right?
No, it hasn't. It's been a lot of checking myself, a lot of like kind of undoing a lot of the harm that I did to myself, and you know, with the media and like society as a whole and everything else, just kind of checking and like observing my thoughts and behaviors based on my weight.
Because I mean, there have been times like during this, you know, where you know, you'll say things to me wanting a reaction from me, you know, like, and you'll use key words to see like, oh, okay, is he going to pick up on that? Right. And I mean, these are just subconscious things, right? I mean, I have the same thing, you know what I'm saying? Cause I mean, you know, like I've put on a little bit of weight too. Like, and it is what it is, you know, like I'm able to lift how I want to lift. I'm getting stronger.
And that was the thing that we were discussing too. Like, yes, we've gained weight, but who gives a fuck right now? Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, we're not going to go trying to compete. I'm not going to go trying to compete at 114 right now, tomorrow. And you're not going to try to go compete in your 205 class, you know, or 220 class, whatever class you were.
How big do you think I am?
No, 205, right? 205 was your
198
weight class. 198.
Yeah.
There you go. I don't know the guys' weight classes very well. I just know there's 220. And a 185, I think.
So just go.
Again,
go
don't know.
Your point.
Yeah. Anyways.
You're off.
Not a man. I'm not in those weight classes. They're different than mine. But you know, we're still able to do all of the things that we've done with more fat on our bodies. Like, you're feeling stronger. You're doing your weightlifting stuff.
I've even been, doing some sprints on the weekends.
Right,
yeah.
Like, all
and
that
I
other
feel
stuff.
good. Like,
right, and that's all that fucking matters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, same with me. You know, I've been running inconsistently, but I'm running. I've been doing like my circuit training. I'm still lifting, all that stuff, and it feels good. Like I've been like stretching in the morning. You know, there's a lot of other things
your
that
mobility has significant.
A lot of other things. My injuries feel better. Like my hips, my shoulders, everything feels a little bit better. They're not as naggy.
I think there's a lot, and there's a lot of things that go into this.
Right, it's not just
this is not just us being like, oh, okay, well, we're not concerned about the weight on the scale, so boom, everything feels better. No, like that's just not.
There's a lot. Yeah,
this has been seriously like a year long, like full of conversations about it. Because for me, my thing is like I've always liked being more athletic. You know, that was one of the big reasons why I stopped powerlifting, was because it removed almost all of my athleticism.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and both of us like it. Both of us like athleticism.
You have to, right? Powerlifting is awesome. It gave us so much. It was so much fun. The community is really cool. But like, if you don't implement your own athleticism, like your own athletic parts of it, it will absolutely drain everything.
Well, it's not a very athletic.
It is no athleticism whatsoever. If you just focus on that. Now, like, you know, I would hope very few coaches very few coaches like keep it that simple.
Squat, bench, deadlift, just those movements, they're like everything based on that. Yeah.
Right. Like you need some time to do some other shit. Like you just
for sure. Yes.
But anyways, like we like being more athletic, and something that kind of resonated with me, or like my kind of like aha moment whenever I was like, dude, why does weight matter? Was, again, wanting to be athletic. I was like, you know what? I need to drop a little bit of body fat. So because I want to like, you know, I want to move better. Like my shoulders have been feeling a little tough, and you know, like my hips, I'm having a hard time like sitting into, you know, the bottom of the snatch. Like I'm having a really difficult time. But then you were like, why do you need to lose body fat for that?
Right.
You know, like, why does that need to be the primary reason?
Because that's just how we think.
Why can't you just focus on improving
mobility?
Like you're improving the bottom of your squat, improving your shoulder mobility.
Right, and guess what happened?
Like,
you did it.
And if you lose body fat, okay. Like, you know, if you don't, okay. But I mean, the fact of the matter was, I was like, dude, I need to lose weight in order to do something that didn't have to do with weight.
And I think a lot of people do that. Will associate like, oh, well, I gotta lose weight before I do this. Oh, I gotta lose weight before I start this. Oh, well, I gotta lose weight before this happens. Why don't you just do it? And whatever it is that you want to, just do it.
Right, and you did it with running.
Yeah.
Like, because you are awkwardly good at running. Your frame doesn't necessarily support it with your very, very long legs.
No, my body doesn't support powerlifting.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
It very much supports running. Damn good.
Yeah, you're a very good runner. But that was kind of your thing too. You were like, oh, okay, well, I need to lose weight so I can get better at running. And you're just like, why don't I just fucking run more?
Right.
Why don't I just get better at running?
And ta-da! Now I am, and I don't know what I'm doing. But
because it doesn't. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Now, if we want to compete again, it's going to matter to an extent, right? Because
we're both not. I will probably never again compete at 114.
Right.
That weight class has been long gone. Unless I don't think there's an unless. Like I had to struggle to get down there, big time. My last meet, I didn't even compete at 114. I competed at 121, 123.
You're not even good at your own weight classes.
It's been a while.
Goodness gracious. But no, like whenever you did compete at 114, we did a meet in Gallup. And remember, like, driving, this was the most idiotic thing. It was, like, April, and it's already hot in April. And, we turned the heater on in the car on the way up there. We were wearing hoodies. We sat in the sauna before weigh-ins. Like, we didn't eat the day before. She made weight by 2 pounds.
No, I weighed in 111.
By 3 pounds?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, like, but that was so ridiculous.
Oh, it was so ridiculous.
And it was for like a meet, like
I took home a trophy. Yeah, I won the whole thing,
you won the whole thing, but like
no money.
It doesn't. Yeah, like that was crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about this thing for like for like state meets. For like Now, again, if you're like
Which was my first meet ever.
If you're if you are a top athlete, you know, if you're like getting paid for this stuff, like, and it is your like job, you might have to consider taking it. You're gonna have to consider taking it a little more seriously, right? Because this is what you do to pay your bills, right? Right? You know, like UFC fighters, it's what they do to pay the bills, for sure. Like, you know, football players, like if you are, you know, an offensive lineman, you're gonna want to keep a little bit more body fat on. You're gonna want to do that. If you are a, you know, skilled position in football, or if you are a basketball player, you know, or any athlete that has to, you know, like change direction, jump up and down, like, you know, you might not want to have as much body fat on you because like it could impact your joints a little more. You know what I'm saying? Possibly. So, but you know, these are things that you're doing for your job. Right, you're getting paid. We're talking about like just being recreational athletes, for sure. You know, or even being competitive recreational athletes. You know, like unless you're making money from it, like dude, have fun. Right, exactly. Like, don't stress yourself out. Of course, if you want a competitive edge, I fucking get it. But again, don't stress yourself out and do dumb shit. Don't lose sleep over it. Right, don't lose fucking sleep over that shit, over making a specific weight. Like because you'll be fine. Tying it back around, think about the damage that can do on your mental health, right? Sure. Because you're so fixated on that. What happens if you don't get it? Mm-hmm. You put in all that work. Now, are you going to beat yourself up because of it, or are you going to be okay with it because like you tried your best? It is what it is. Right. I would venture to say not very many people are okay like with that kind of like with that thing, right? With that thought, like, oh, I tried my best, good job, me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really hard to be that open and that like I'm kind to yourself. Like I'm like that's very difficult for me. Right. For me in my head, like that's weenie shit. Right. Like that's how I think about like to myself. But again, it's something that I'm constantly working on and not being that hard on myself. Again, like I think there's a way to be competitive and a way to do like to be competitive whenever sport that you choose to do. But if you're losing sleep, if you're wrecking your health, if you're doing all of these things that are impacting you, health, right? If they're impacting you negatively, just so you can compete competitively in whatever thing that you're doing, think twice about it. Right. And especially if it's driven by your weight, like, is it really fucking worth it? Well, like, is it really fucking worth it? You know, and